which thy fathers possess. He's not going to bring just the tribe of Judah, which they claim to be over there. He's talking about all 12 tribes of Israel at one time. That's another prophecy. That's how we know they're not the true people. Because the Lord said when the Israelites go back to the kingdom, it's going to be all 12 tribes, not just one tribe. That's how we know they're not the Israelites. We're the Israelites. It says, and the Lord thy God will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it. And he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers. There's going to be a lot of death, and we're going to have to pop woman, and we're going to take multiple wives, and we're going to have a lot of babies in the kingdom to rebuild up our kingdom, man. It says, and the Lord thy God will circumcise thy heart and the heart of thy seed. So we're going to go under that new covenant. Jeremiah 31 tells you about that. To love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thy enemies. No, the Lord's going to save our enemies with us, as long as they believe. No, the Lord said he's going to take the curses off the Israelites, and he's going to put the curses on the Israelites' enemies, the people that took us into captivity. I'll read it again. So the Lord is saying, look, he's going to take the Israelites that was scattered amongst all nations, and he's going to take them back into the land. Once the Lord take the Israelites to the land, it's going to be all 12 tribes at the same time, not just one tribe. You know, the people over there in the land, they claim to be Judites, and they say they're from the tribe of Judah. Where's the rest of the tribes? The prophecy is that the true Israelites in the Bible will be in captivity when the Lord returns. That's why he's returning, to save them, because they will be in slaves and captivities, the meek of the earth, right? Now it says that then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations where thy gods has scattered thee, the Israelites. If any of thou be driven to the utmost parts of heavens, from thence will the Lord thy God gather thee, from thence will he fetch thee. And the Lord thy God will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed. The Israelites possessed the land, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good, multiply thee above thy fathers. And the Lord thy God will circumcise thy heart. That's the new covenant. And the heart of thy seed, or seed. So that means, yeah, we're going to have wives in the kingdom. We're going to have sex in the kingdom. It says, and thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. And the Lord thy God will put these curses, the curses we in right now, we're in slavery right now, we're under a nation of people. He will put these curses upon thy enemies, not save our enemies. It says he would take the curses off us, and then they will live in the ghettos in the kingdom. They would be our slaves in the kingdom the way we were their slaves. That's the Bible. I read it out the Bible, verbatim, right? It says, the Lord thy God will put these curses upon thy enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee. So who persecuted the so-called Negroes, the so-called Hispanics, the so-called Native Americans? Who persecuted us? We know who persecuted us. Who put us in slavery? Let's not play dumb. Let's not play semantics. Oh, we don't know, you know. It was my father's. Oh, we didn't do it personally. Well, you want to say you didn't do it personally. Let's go to Isaiah. I didn't own any slaves. It wasn't me, right? If this world is a righteous world, well, then why is the Lord coming back to destroy it? Because the world is wicked. The Lord doesn't approve of the things that happen on earth. That's why he's coming back. The Lord wouldn't have to come back if this was a righteous, good place. So the whole purpose of the Lord return is to destroy wickedness, because this place is wicked. What was some of the wicked things that was done here? Taking the Negroes and the Native Americans and the Latinos into slavery. That was a very wicked thing. So that's why he's coming back to destroy it, man. Now, Isaiah 14, for those that say, well, I didn't have no slaves. Verse 21, prepare slaughter for the children, for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. So we got to prepare slaughter for the Edomites today, for their fathers taking us in slavery. It says that they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities. So they have cities right now, but they're going to be destroyed, and then they're not going to have no more cities, just like that. Go back to verse 1. It says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, no, on all the world, and will yet choose Israel. No, he's going to choose all the world. Any nation to be saved. All nations. Come on, man. It says, and set them in their own land. Why does the Lord have to set them in their own land if he's just going to save everybody? It says, and a stranger should be joined with them, and they should cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people should take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for service and handmaids. So would there be service and handmaids and possessions in the kingdom? Yes. It says the people should take them. So we're going to take the other nations that took us into slavery, and we're going to take them in slavery. Look, it says it right here. It says, and they should take them captives, who captives they were. What does it mean to be captive? It means to be a slave. So we should take them captives, who captives we were. The nations that took us in slavery, we're going to take them in slavery. That's fair. But it's never fair once it's their turn. When it's our turn and they was putting our asses in slavery, oh, they was having the time of their life. They was popping our woman, raping our woman, splitting up families, raping a man. You know, when it was their time to put us in slavery, but when it comes our time to put the other nations in slavery, then everybody want to say, oh no, that's not right. That's not cool. Don't say that. That's not cool. That's not love. Right? It says, and they should rule over their oppressors. So the people who oppress us, you know, we're going to rule over them. It's just that simple. People that oppressed us, we're going to oppress them. The people that took us in captivity, we're going to take them in captivity. They're not going to inherit the kingdom with us. Did we inherit their kingdom with them? Do we inherit the earth right now with them? No, they're in the rulership. Who runs the earth? NATO. If you go look up NATO, it's all Edomite, so-called Caucasian nations. That's the beast of the earth. That's who has power over the earth. If you go get a fucking plane and you fly it in the sky and you do whatever the fuck you want and you fly over Washington, D.C., who's going to come shoot you down? Now, yeah, there's some Israelites in the military, but who's commanding them to do that? Who has power over that? Right? This is a great precept, right? This is who salvation is for. And it even shows you in this precept that I'm about to get that it tells you who salvation is for. It tells you that the other nations will be watching the Israelites, you know, who salvation is really for. They will be watching those people get salvation, you know. It don't say that they will be saved with us. It say that they will be watching us, and they're going to be, you know, they're going to kind of be bugged out and astonished that, damn, the so-called Negroes, that's who salvation is for? The Native Americans and the Hispanics? Y'all was telling us that everybody can be saved. Y'all lied to us, you know, so it clearly shows you that. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5. I'll end off with this. Verse 1, it says, then should a righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such have afflicted him and made no account of his labor. Those people that just walked up, those are the descendants of the people that took us in slavery, the people that afflicted us, right? So that's an example right now. Me standing, this is talking about us right now, man. Standing in great boldness in front of everybody's face, right? I'm not on the internet. I'm not fucking hiding. I'm out here on the streets. I'm outside. It says, when they see it, they should be troubled with terrible fear and should be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. So far beyond all they looked for. So when it's saying his, it's not talking about an individual. When it breaks down and it says his salvation, it's talking about a nation of people. Now, amongst this nation of people is the elect. And what does it mean to be the elect? To be elected, to be saved from the destruction that the Lord is going to bring on earth. So when it says his, it's talking about a people. That's what it's talking about, his. And the his is Israel, the people of Israel, man. So the other nations, they're going to be amazed at the strangeness of our salvation. Not be saved with us, man. We were sold into the other nations. It says, so far beyond all they looked for, because they not looking for the Lord to even come back. They don't really believe. They're not looking for us to be saved. They're not looking for fucking UFOs and chariots to come out the sky and save Negroes, Native Americans, and Hispanics. They're not looking for that, right? It says, and they repenting and groaning. What are they repenting from? Taking us in slavery. Ye were sold into the other nations. Taking us in slavery and captivity and bondage. And groaning anguish of spirit should say within themselves, this was he who we had sometime in derision, a proverb or reproach. Who's on earth a proverb or reproach? By force, right? Because so-called white people are called white people because they put that name on themselves. They're called Caucasians because they put their name on themselves. We're the ones called Negroes, Spics, Wetbacks, savages, Indians. Those were proverbs put on us by force. So it's talking about us, man, the Israelites. It says that he who we had sometime in derision. It's not talking about one individual that was in derision by people. It's talking about a nation of people that were in derision, that were in slavery, which are the Negroes. It's clearly, you know. It says, we fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. Because what do they think of the Negroes? They think by the age of 25, you're either going to be right down here in the county building, locked up, or dead. They take our life. They don't take no account for our life. They think our life is going to be madness. They're not looking and saying, look, I believe that, you know, in the next 50 years, a black nation is going to rise up and be a superpower on earth. They're not looking at that. They're not thinking of that. China think that they're finna run shit. Their asses are going to slavery too. It's not just the Edomites. It's not just the Americans, the Caucasian Americans. China's going into slavery. African Hamite nations are going into slavery. It's the difference between an Israelite and an African, a Hamite. Their asses are going into slavery. The Saudi Arabians, their asses are going into slavery. All nations other than Israel are going into slavery on earth, man. The Japanese, the Koreans, they're all their asses are going into slavery under the children of Israel when the Lord comes back. Because the kingdom is for the children of Israel. That's who salvation is for. Because all those nations play a part in having us in slavery, man. We are the biggest threat to this system. There's no bigger threat to America than the so-called Negro man. And they know that. That's why they spend so much money on keeping us in sin and keeping us in crime to make us fill up 80% of the jail cells. It's not a coincidence, man. It says, we fools accounted his life madness and his end without honor. They don't think we have no honor, right? It says, how is he numbered among the children of God? So they're going to be like, damn, how are they the children of God, right? How are they the elect to be saved? It was them the whole time, the Negroes? It says, and his lot is among the saints, see? Therefore we have erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness has not shined unto us, and the sun of righteousness has not rose on us. So they're going to come admitting that, look, man, we had it wrong. The Pope, the Catholic Church, the Christian Church, baptism, we had this shit wrong, man. We had it completely wrong. They're going to admit that, man. Right? And it tells you that in Revelation 2. I'm going to end off with this one. Right? Now, Revelation 3 and 9. Behold, I will make them the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, the people who claiming to be us but are not. And that goes for the people in the land claiming to be us but not, and the people with the replacement doctrine that think that they can replace the true Israelites just with the church or just with believers. They claiming to be us and are not. It says, I will make them the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before thy feet, to know that I have loved thee. Who is the thee? Is the D just anybody on earth? No, the D is the Israelites, that make them know that I have loved thee. Not them, but thee, the Israelites. He say he's going to make them come worship at our feet. They tough right now. They ain't going to do it right now. But when that destruction happens, and there's famines, there's no electricity in the whole city, there's no water in the whole city, there's purge on the street, he's going to make them come worship at our feet. And that's coming very soon. Revelation 13 and 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Those that lead into captivity must go into captivity. Those that kill by the sword must be killed by the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints, and we're waiting for it, and we're praying for it, and we're coming out here and do the work. This is the biggest sign that kingdom is about to end, when you see the prophets of the Lord prophesying against it. So with that, I'm going to say salvation to the elect. Shalom. Give all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Wakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders. Peace, blessings, and honors to all the brothers in the street. Salvation to the elect.